everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight, we're going to have a little bit of fun with embossing folders. Now, I've done some techniques with embossing folders in the past, and after the live tonight, I will link another video with more embossing folders techniques here on YouTube under the screen in the description. But tonight, I thought I would try a double embossing technique, and I think you're going to like it. It's really fun to do, and it's a way to use some of your embossing folders that have very small details with some of your embossing folders that have some nice big flat areas. But before we do that, we have to say a very special hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How are you?
I am great. I just wanted to show everybody.
Look at that.
Wonderful, wonderful. This has been an awesome birthday week last week.
Yes. Happy birthday, Tom.
Thank you. Outpourings of birthday wishes and fun. So let's see. We got from a bunch of folks, we got cards. Thank you so much for the kind words and beautiful cards. From Chuck Meadows.
Yes,
my friend
Chucky.
Chuck Meadows, we got some decor for the Dead Space.
Yes.
Dead Space decor. Dead core. The Dead Space Crafternoon and Better Than Horrible. So many thanks, Chuck. That is awesome stuff. And filling out the Dead Space, brightening up the Dead Space, if that is even possible, I don't know. But you sure took a great shot at it. Thank you so much, and thank you to all for the kind wishes. It was a wonderful, birthday. Despite I actually got stuck traveling in Detroit overnight, and it was a nice evening, even though I would have liked to have been home then. That's we were supposed to do the live that night, but
yes.
The airlines had other ideas. So many thanks again. I'll switch back.
No, don't go anywhere yet. No, because I saw somebody in there saying, Tom, you're wearing the shirt. So I think we'll have to start. You want to start with the word of the day?
The word of the day. So many thanks to our crazy, crazy staff who provided not only a wonderful shirt for me, but a word of the day. The word of the day is psychopathic. Psychopathic, and let's see, the definition is suffering from or constituting chronic bicycle disorder.
Yes. That's awesome.
With abnormal or unhealthy obsessions to ride. They do know me here.
They do. They gave it to you on a day when you wrote in too, right?
Yeah, it's perfect, and it really, yeah. So many thanks to our staff, wonderful staff who are a lot of fun and keep things very bright around here, and light and bright. So there you go. The Dead Space is hopping tonight. We're going to try to keep it.
Honestly, it looks brighter in the Dead Space tonight. It just looks like there's more going on. Thanks to Chuck Meadows.
Yeah.
Chucky Tool Chuck.
Very cool. Very cool.
I got to meet him.
Designs.
I got to meet him in Ohio over the weekend, and he brought those gifts for Tom. So it was such a nice experience. I got to meet Chuck, and I got to meet his dad, Roy.
Oh.
Yeah. Such fun guys.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. Well, time for crafting, I guess, right?
Okay. So back to you, baby.
All right. Well, tonight, like I said, we're going to be using some embossing folders. And I've got a couple embossing folders here that I wanted to try this technique with. I actually have two of the same one here. And why am I so close? Let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. So I have two Petite Flourish here. Petite Flourish is going to be the main one that I use tonight for some of the details that I want to create. And I thought I would use the new hearts, the happy hearts. I believe that's what it's called, happy hearts. I don't know why. I don't know all the names. This is the lattice. I'm going to use this. And you probably could use gingham as well. And for a detailed one, if you have the Swiss dot, that might work as well. So basically what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do this technique as a single embossing technique. And then I'm going to show it to you as a double embossing technique. So let's start by getting the die cutting machine out. I've got my die cutting machine over here, and I will bring that into the scene in just a minute. But first, I need a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to start with, let's start with the hearts. Okay, so on your embossing folders, there is one side where you can press into the design. You can feel that the design is recessed. And then the other side, you can feel the design sticking out, where you actually feel all the individual little hearts. This is the side that you are going to add ink to, the side where you can actually feel all of the little hearts. So I'm going to use some innocent pink for this, okay? And then let me get some cardstock first. Probably should have that ready to go. So I'm just going to cut 2/4 sheets of cardstock for this technique. I'm going to cut these both at 4 1/4 by 5 inches. We can always go back and trim those down later if we need to, which we'll need to. And then this is kind of a letterpress technique, but it's a little bit of a reverse letterpress technique. So normally when we do letterpress, we put our ink on the flat parts of the embossing folder, like the flat part, so that all the hearts would stick out and be white, but all of the background would be this pink color that I'm going to use. That would be letterpress, where you the design is protruding in whatever color the cardstock is, and then you colorize the background. But for this, we're actually going to colorize the indented hearts. So instead of the hearts being protruding from my cardstock, they're going to be indented to look more like letterpress. So I'm going to use some innocent pink here, and I'm going to rub this innocent pink all over these hearts. Now, the nice thing about our ink and our ink cubes and our pads is they have a felt pad. They're like a linen style. And so you can do this without ink getting squished down into the other parts. So that really makes it nice. Okay, so you can see I just inked up those hearts. Now I'm going to place this piece of cardstock on here, and I'm going to close up the embossing folder. And now I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. So for embossing folders, the sandwich that you want to use is you want to use the regular platform, and then you want to use the Spellbinders embossing plate. Now, if that's too hard for you to get through, you can always just use the clear plate and then add some cardstock shims. But this really gives you a nice, deep embossed image. So let's take a look at this. So you see how the hearts are recessed. They're sticking out on this side. I think you can see that. And they're recessed in here, and the ink is just inside. Okay, I love that. I love the way that looks. I think it just looks so cute. So that is the traditional way to do this technique, but we're going to do something a little different. We want to create these hearts so that these hearts have a design in them, and actually they are protruding. So I'm going to clean my embossing folder. Let me do that now with a tidy towel. It is really pretty. It's soft and subtle, and it just gives that embossing folder a little bit more, I don't know, a little more pizzazz. I think this would be really cute, a cute background for a baby card, or just, you know, when you're telling somebody you're thinking of them. It's also nice for a sympathy card. It's very soft, and hearts always indicate love, right? So, okay, so I'm cleaning off my embossing folder here, and I am going to dry it with a paper towel just so that it doesn't wet the cardstock. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the other side, and we are actually not going to put any ink on this embossing folder, and we're going to put this aside for a second. We're going to start with the Petite Flourish design, okay? So I'm going to put my piece of cardstock into the Petite Flourish embossing folder, and then we are going to run that through the machine. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad that you like my blouse. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My die cutting machine is on this piece of cardstock, and it makes it harder to push through. Okay. So now, let's try to peel this out of here without tearing the paper because it's deeply embossed. Okay, so now you can see on this side, it's protruding, and on this side, it's recessed. I'm going to put the recessed side down onto the single hearts where you can feel the hearts. So these hearts are going to push through this design, okay? Now we're going to run it through again. Sorry, Tom. Just pearls went everywhere. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Now I want to show you this. So now I have a slight design in my background. You can see this is the other side. I have a slight design in my background, and I have that recessed design in my protruding hearts. So now I'm going to accent them with that ink cube, and you're going to see how pretty this looks. This is super fun. I'm using the Gina K Designs Layering Weight White. Okay, so let me zoom in just a little bit here. Oh, Tom's telling about the dead space. Somebody must have asked, what is the dead space? That must be a newer person. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to take my ink cube and I'm going to do a direct to paper technique where I'm just going to lightly rub all over the surface of these hearts. Can you see what's happening? Can you see the design that's coming out? Isn't that super cool? I love the way this looks. I'm using a real light hand here with my ink cube so I don't press down into the back. And I am just rubbing this all over. And these hearts now have a Petite Flourish swirl going through them. Isn't that fun? It's a really cool kind of distressed look. Totally different than the clean look that you normally get from an embossing folder. And it's the perfect backdrop for big die cut words, for flowers, for anything like that. And I can go back over this. I can mix colors if I want to accent these, but you can see that Petite Flourish is in there. I'm going to bring it close to the camera again in just a minute. Okay, can you see that now? Isn't that fun? Totally different, right, than just this simple letterpress design. This just gives it so much more texture, and it's a great way to use your embossing folders together. Now on this side, it's really hard to see. And if I put ink on this side, you probably still wouldn't see the design. I'm using a very light hand. Instead of smashing down and getting it caught underneath the hearts and in the in the space behind the hearts. By using a light hand, you're just catching the raised areas. So now I'm going to trim this down because I might use this one in my card tonight. I'm going to trim it down a little bit here.
Question, can you please just say which way you put it on the heart folder?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go over it one more time just to make sure, because we're going to do it one more time on the lattice one as well, just to show you what that looks like. But I will definitely say it again. So give me just a second here to trim this down. So I trimmed this down to 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches, which is about the same as the master layouts too. So what you have, you're laying it on the raised part. So you're laying it face up where the design is recessed onto the raised part. So you have that recessed design, but then when you close your folder, it pushes the hearts forward, and the hearts keep that recessed design in them. So that allows you to ink it up, and it accents the little design. Yeah, give it a try. So let's try another one. Let's do one in sea glass, shall we? I love sea glass. So once again, I'm going to use the Petite Flourish. I think it is by far the best embossing folder for this technique. It's one of my favorites anyway, but I think it's great for this technique. So let me grab another piece of white cardstock here. And I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4 inches. So this is two more 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches pieces of cardstock. Now let me zoom out a little bit because I'm really close, because I wanted to show you. Oh, the hearts is one of my favorite embossing folders. The thing I love about embossing folders is they're not super expensive. You can use them over and over again. They're super for just kind of no, I don't miss the paper first, Teresa. I don't. I just stick it in there. Some people, if you use really thick paper, they like to miss the paper first so it doesn't crack. But I haven't experienced that with our layering weight white. And yes, you can put ink on the embossing folder before you emboss it for sure. The thing is on this one, I don't want any ink on the back. I did put ink on this one first, and I'm going to do both of these techniques again using sea glass. So we'll do it one more time. So I'm just making this one now. I'm making my piece of Petite Flourish. It doesn't matter because like what side, because I can just pick the side that I want to use once it's done. Yeah, some people miss the 3D folders because they're a little deeper. But I think that the 80-pound cardstock, the white, or I also did it earlier. Let me see if I can find those pieces. Did I put those somewhere? I actually did this technique with our innocent pink, and I didn't have to miss the cardstock. And I think if I zoom in here, you'll be able to see there's no cracking at all. That kind of almost looks like felt too, because I rubbed the ink cube all over that. And here, let's see, I did it on craft cardstock with a little I think it's sea glass ink. Maybe I used Blue Lagoon for this. I think I used Blue Lagoon. But you can see, you know, on the craft is 100-pound. On this one, I did it recessed, and I used Lucky Clover and Turquoise Sea. Yeah, so I like the pink too. Now, what we're going to do next, now that we have this one done, this is the only thing. When you use the Spellbinders plate, you have to be careful pulling this out because it really gives you a deep emboss, and so you don't want to tear your paper. But as you can see, on this side, you've got all your texture, right? All the texture. On the embossing folder, this is the side where the hearts are sticking out. Here's the side where the hearts are recessed. You want to put texture to texture, right? So the hearts, you feel the texture of the hearts, you feel the texture of this, You want to go texture to texture. And what you end up doing is pushing these hearts through the paper into here, and you have the recessed design in the hearts. So now we're going to do another one. We're going to do the lattice. The lattice is another good embossing folder to use like the hearts because it's got big solid pieces. That's what makes this technique work. The hearts has big solid pieces in it. This one has big solid pieces in it. When I say solid, I mean lots of flat areas. So I'm going to emboss this just with a piece of white cardstock. Let's get that onto my plate.
You remember that night you were working with embossing boulders?
Embossing boulders. Yes, I do.
Fruit salad.
That was a blooper. Oh, goodness. Okay. So now you can see on this side, right? It's nice flat spaces. On this side, it's all recessed. So if you wanted a recessed look, you could have inked up this side. Shall we demonstrate that again? Let's demonstrate that again. It's kind of the letterpress technique where we're adding ink and it's pressing the ink down into the embossing folder or into the paper from the embossing folder. So I'll show you that. Let's move this out of the way. So when you do the letterpress, you find the flat part, like the part that feels nice and smooth, not the part that has all the indents and nothing, you know, the part that sinks down. You want to go with the flat part. And I'm trying to think, should we use sea glass for this? Let's go a little darker. Let's use Turquoise Sea for this so you can see it really well. So I'm taking the Turquoise Sea ink pad. You can also use a cube for this. And I'm just rubbing that all over the surface of this. See, and it's not getting down into the lines because I'm not using a super heavy hand. I'm just doing a light dusting over it. Okay. Now I'm going to lay this cardstock on top and then put this, close it up. And then we're going to send it through. Let's see what this looks like. Now you see, now you have all of your white lines. So it looks the same as this, but the ink is pressed in. It's pressed into the deep recesses of this design. And then your white lines you can feel on the surface, right? Okay. So on the back, that's where you have your large spaces. So that's what we're going to create in the next pass. All right, I'll show you what I mean. Let me clean this up first. Got to keep your embossing folders clean. And if you get like ink on them that you can't, like that's hard to get off, just take it to the sink, spray a little Gina K Design stamp cleaner on it, and then just, you know, rub it with the tidy towel and then go ahead and wash it with soapy water and it'll all come off. I wouldn't use permanent ink on this technique though, because, you know, your embossing folders will definitely get pretty stained. Okay, so now we're going to go back to this piece. This is the Petite Flourish that we created. Okay, and we want to press this design up. This is the texture. We want texture to texture, and this is recessed on this side. Okay, so now we're going to actually press these squares up into this, and they're going to come up into this piece right here, this side right here. Okay. And I think the best way to do this and to learn this, of course, is hands-on. You got to play. You got to try it. really trying not to blow your ears out, Tom. Okay, so now we've got our design, and I know that's hard to see, but you're going to be able to see it once we get the ink on there. So let me get my piece of cardstock here. Just I'll lay it down on here. And then I'm going to use the turquoise. I really want to use sea glass for this. I think it would be even prettier with sea glass or ocean mist. Let's do sea glass. So I'm going to take sea glass, and I'm going to just gently do the sea glass all over the top. And you see, this to me looks like a swimming pool. It looks like some kind of Venetian tile on a swimming pool. Doesn't it, Tom? Look at that.
Very cool.
You see all the swirls in there? I'm going to go a little bit closer after I finish it to show you. But this
very expensive per square foot tile.
Yes.
Italian tile.
Italian tile, exactly. Oh, it's beautiful, though. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And again, I'm using a light hand, so it's not going down into the cracks between the little diamonds or tiles, if we want to call them that. And I'm just using that direct to paper technique. Now, I don't want to use a blending brush because a blending brush is going to, the bristles are going to get down into the little cracks. This is kind of similar to the way we do wood graining, right? When we do the lines in the wood grain, when we kind of swipe the ink and it doesn't get onto the lines, it doesn't get into the lines. That is just so nice. This would be such a fun background if you had like fish stamps or if you had like summertime stamps and you wanted to kind of create that feeling of a pool. All right, so let me bring this closer so you can see it. I'm already so inky, but I don't care. It feels good. All right, can you see that? Is that design showing up, Tom?
Yes.
Isn't that fun? Yes, a mermaid. Yeah, a mermaid stamp would be great on this. Absolutely. So you can see, I mean, that just steps it up so much from this. It even looks like there's more than one color in there. And if you wanted to put more than one color in there, you certainly could. You could go back and add a little bit of Lucky Clover to have some more greenish areas in there. See how pretty that looks? Just in certain spots. Oh, that's so nice. I don't know which one I want to use. I think I'm going to use the pink one, but I'll definitely use this for something else. But you can see just mixing those colors together, and it's such an easy technique. Such an easy technique. And here's the pink one again. So I think I'll use this one tonight and make a quick card so that we definitely have something that we can give away tonight. But I just love how it steps it up. I mean, these are fun too, no doubt. The letterpress is super fun. But this, wow, I love it. Just love it. Okay, so we'll use this here. And look at even the difference between just using sea glass, because this dried, and just adding that second color. I mean, it's just spectacular. And so easy. And again, on the other side, nothing going on, just the plain lattice. So you have to try. You have to try this and play with it a little bit. So I thought tonight I would use this stamp set. I haven't used this one in a while. This is the layered Carnation stamp set. You know, once the spring weather comes, I start to feel like this again. And I'm thinking prom season, you know, all the young girls are out there getting their little carnation bouquets and wristlets and stuff. So I'm going to use these colors. Now, because I'm using, just dropped my background. Because I am using, let me find it here. Because I'm using Innocent Pink, I thought I would use Innocent Pink as one of my main colors for my flowers tonight. So I'll use Innocent Pink, I'll use Dusty Rose, and then for that third layer, I thought I would use Faded Brick. See how nice faded brick complements innocent pink? I think that'd be really fun. So we'll use that tonight. Okay. So I'm only going to need 1 flower, but I might stamp 2 just in case I don't stamp it right the first time. Back the camera up a little bit. How about if I just bring this down a little bit? Will that work? I could back it up a little, but my screen is really small and a lot of people watch it on their phones, so don't want to be too far back. Okay. So I couldn't find my other stamp set, and I had this one laying around, and I know I haven't used it yet, so I am just rubbing my fingers all over it. You see how it's getting cloudy? That's how you know that you're getting some of that residue off. All right, and let's see. I want to put it on here in the same direction that it's on the stamp sheet. So let me look at that here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm just going to lay it there like that. This way I know when I line up my next stamp that it's going to go right on top like that, if that makes sense. So I'll stamp this twice or 3 times just to make sure I get good solid innocent pink, because innocent pink is a pretty light color to begin with. How's everybody doing? Oh, you have an 85-inch. Oh my gosh. When you guys tell me you have an 85-inch big screen and you're watching me on that, I immediately want to go to Walgreens and buy more skincare. That's really close. That's really big. Okay. Oh, see, I prepped that stamp and you see how nice of an image I got on that right away? That's pretty nice. It's worth giving yourself the time to prep these stamps. Okay, so that's a good image. I think that's done. All right, let's see now. We'll put that back in the right spot, and then we'll put this one on top. So we know it's supposed to go like this. Let's see if we can figure out exactly where it goes. So this little dot goes right onto the end of that. I know that. So we're just going to put it on there like that. I think that's going to do it. Mind if I get my head in the way for a minute? I really want to see what I'm doing here. Okay. So this is going to be layer 2. This is going to be Dusty Rose. Do some Dusty Rose. And I think I'll do 2 layers of Dusty Rose at least. That looks pretty good. Oh, watching me on a big screen makes me nervous. Okay. Need to do my cuticles if I'm on an 85-inch screen. Okay, and now we're going to put this last layer on here. Let's get that right in there. We'll see how this looks. I think that'll do it. We'll see. Sometimes it's easier to just put this up to it to see it first. Okay, I'm going to line these up down here. There we go. And now I'm going to do faded brick on this one. I just moved my cardstock, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll look pretty good. It'll be better than horrible. Oh, that does look pretty. I like it. Okay. So let's take a look at what that's going to look like on here. Yeah, that's going to look really nice with this background. I have one that I made earlier that faded up a little bit. Maybe I'll put it on this one. And then I was going to do 2, but I think I'm good enough here with this flower. I'm going to do these leaves. Just do 1 little set of leaves, maybe 2. I really should put my lids back on one at a time, not at the end when I don't know which color is which. Okay, I'm going to use jelly bean and fresh asparagus for these 2. Now this one I didn't prep. I just pulled this stamp off, so we'll see. Yeah, I should have prepped it. We'll give it another couple layers and it'll be fine. I haven't used this set since last spring. Let's see if this will work if I just turn it. It's going to be close, but I think it'll be fine. The stamp set I'm using is called Layered Carnation. It originally was in the watercolor spring card kit. So if you got that card kit, you have this stamp set. But if you didn't get that card kit, this is a smaller stamp set. It's not as big. That one had a lot going on in that kit. Okay, that looks good for not prepping the stamp. 2 stampings. So do I want to add all the details? Yeah, I think I do. I think I'll add some of these. But you know what? I think I'm going to do grass green as my second color instead of fresh asparagus. And I'll do fresh asparagus at the end. So grass green is a little bit darker than jelly bean green, and then fresh asparagus is the darkest of the 3. Oh, Charlene, I wish Tom could take music requests too. He can't though, or my channel will get copyrighted and I could get my channel removed. So I have to be careful. And Tom knows that. He doesn't want my channel to get removed. I think I have over 1,000 videos on my channel. I can't imagine having to recreate all of those on a new channel and trying to find all 181,000 of you. Oh, that would be terrible. So whatever you do, Tom, don't be, can't take requests, unfortunately. Sometimes Tom plays things that he's written or he just noodles. All right, now I'm going to cut these out before I add the veins. Okay, so let's cut these all out and then we'll add the veins at the very end. So some of you who are new here, and I know there are new people because somebody asked, what does it mean? What does the dead space mean? So that means we have new people, and I'm thrilled that we have new people. I love all of my regulars, and I love when new people join us because then our Gina K Designs family expands. So because of that, I'm going to show you a little technique that many of my people that have been with me for a long time have seen me do before, but I think it is worth another look. So I'm going to just take a piece of thinner cardstock, and I'm going to cut those 2 images out on this cardstock because I'm going to make a little template that's going to allow me to center my images better. It's your first time watching me live? Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so let me grab my scissors here and I'm just going to cut these templates out. I might do just one at a time here, just so I can show you. So I'm going to take that template And I'm going to move it around until my flower looks fairly centered. And that looks pretty good. And especially when you're doing something like a layered stamp, or you're just not sure, you want to cut it out really centered. Let me get this pixie tape here. I don't know if you guys knew, but ThermoWeb has come out with a new and improved pixie tape. And I got a chance to use it over the weekend in Columbus when I was teaching at the Simon Says Stamp Create event. And it's fabulous. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to drop this die in here till I feel it click. So now I know it's in there. See, I don't think I would have cut it there. But I just made a little template that if I drop my die down in there, now it's going to cut with that exact border that you just saw. I forget about them too, and sometimes I don't do them in my, look at all my dirty plates. Okay, so now I've got a pretty decent white edge around there. I didn't cut anything off. It looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Just don't throw your dies away. I did throw 2 leaf dies away one time, and it was devastating. So now this, I'm going to do the same thing. I have this little template, and this is why I want to stamp the stem afterwards. Because if I have that stem turned just a little bit the wrong way, I'm never going to get it to work. But if I stamp it after, it's going to be easier. So we'll get that on there. Then we'll drop that die in there till we feel it click down in there. Yep, there we go. And you'll know because you'll try to move it around and it won't move. Yes, thank you guys so much. We've got 2,700 people here. That's exciting. I get to see the number because we have people watching us also on Facebook and also on Twitch. So thank you guys. That's so wonderful. Yep. That's amazing. We missed you so much. So now I've got that nice edge. Sometimes I catch a little bit of the pink from the template or whatever color, but you just wipe that off. And you see, you get that perfect little edge. All right, now I'm going to do it one more time. If you guys hear beeping, it's because my pump, I'm a type 1 diabetic, for those of you who don't know that. And my continuous glucose monitor just expired right before I went live. And so it's telling me that I need to change it. And I'm totally fine, but it's just annoying because it's yelling at me. So I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. But if you hear a faint beeping in the background, that's what that is. It's not a fire alarm or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just turning it a little bit. And there we go. It was really exciting meeting a lot of you over the weekend. Those of you that were able to come to Simon Says Create in Columbus. I drove. It was a long drive. I got to tell you, it was a long drive. It was 8.5 hours there, and it was 10 hours home because I was pretty tired out by the time it was over, and it took me a lot longer to get home. Oh, you don't hear the beeping? Okay, good. Good. It's kind of under the table because it's on my lower belly. So hopefully it's not near the microphone. Yeah, I wish you guys would have been there. Everybody would have been there too. I would have loved to meet all of you. You know, I get so excited now because I can recognize some of your names. I have to go back and look through the comments after the show. All right, now I'm going to try to stamp those last couple of twigs. Bring my Misty up here. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, though. It might actually be easier just to try to nail it, you know. It's a tiny little twig, and I just have to stamp it right in there like that. I think I'm going to try to do it with a block. After all that, watch, I'll miss it, but whatever. It'll be better than horrible. All right, so I'm going to use this tiny comfort block. Now, when you have a stamp that's kind of twisty, you know what I mean? Like a strip sentiment or a stem or something, and you want to make sure that it's right. Rather than putting it on your block, because where it sticks and where it ends up could stretch it or skew it a little bit, just lay it down in its natural state and then pick it up with the block from there. Then you know it's going to be in the right orientation. Now, I am definitely going to get my head in the way for this because I want to look straight down on it. That's right. Nature is not perfect. I agree. Yeah, well, the last time they had Create was 2019. It used to be a yearly or an every other year event. But I'm not sure what they're going to do this year. If they're going to do it next year or they're going to wait and do, 2 years. But I hope they do it next year. It would be really fun. I would love to be there. Okay, now I got to get my head in the way, so I really apologize, but I need to be able to see this. There we go. Not bad. Better than horrible. That one's even better than horrible. It was great to meet you too. It was great to meet so many of you. I loved it. They do it every year in Columbus, so it doesn't change. The location doesn't change, and that's because it's really cool what they do. Their warehouse is right down the street, and if they run out of products, because it's big shopping, so if they run out of products and there's something that you want, you place an order right there at the show. They send somebody right down the street to run and get it, and then they bring it back to you and deliver it to you within like 2.5 hours. So it's super, super cool. But they wouldn't be able to do that if they had to haul it all across the country. So it makes more sense. They have their whole team there, well, big portion of their team there. So it has to be in Columbus. So I'm cutting this down to 4 5/8 by 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 because that should be the right size for my background here. And hopefully it will be. Let's take a look. Let's see if I cut it straight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You could also cut that with master layouts too. It was a long trip, but you know what? Going there, it went really fast. I was listening to music and I was singing Lady Gaga out the window, and it was a lot of fun. Coming back, I was 30 years older.
Out the window?
I was singing Lady Gaga out the window. Screaming. My tape runner ran out of tape. Okay. Gotta be a little bit careful because this is very delicate. Okay. There we go. Lost a little chunk right there, but we won't see that. Now I have a whole bunch of these ovals already pre-cut. So I was thinking about maybe using one of these on it and then doing a little floral design this way. Might not even need to. One might be all it needs. I could actually cut the other one and make it a little smaller and have it coming out at the top, maybe. Let's try that. After all that positioning, right? But why not? Let's just do it. Even to have one coming out over here, I think a smaller one there might be perfect.
No, Joe, I was not with Gina that weekend.
No, Tom was actually helping Alicia with the stamp show. Okay, so we could do that. And then let's see, maybe I will just use one of these could make this a praying each day finds you feeling like your old self or so thankful for a friend like you. Let's use that one. Okay, we'll play with this. So I'm going to layer these two together first. This is the double stitched ovals and our single stitched ovals. If you get these together, they make that little 1/16 of an inch border around the outside because they're 1/8 of an inch different. So around the entire thing gives you a 1/16 of an inch border. And then I am going to tape this directly onto my Misty here. Oh, I definitely could use these 2 leaves that I cut off for something else, for sure. They would be perfect little leaves. Okay. So let's see how this looks. So thankful for a friend like you. We're going to put that up a little higher. Right there, like that. Do you want to try to get it straight? I think that looks pretty straight. I hope. Let me look at it again. Sorry. There we go. And then I'm going to use black onyx for this. I don't know if they're going to do it every year or not. I think sometimes they did it every other year and sometimes they did it every year. I'm not really sure. I know 2019 was the last time they did it because it is my favorite card design. I love using the oval. I love having a floral spray at the bottom. Just love it. And that looks nice and big and bold. But I hope that they're going to do it again because I would love to be able to see more of you. I would just keep an eye out for the event because they will announce the event. And also another event I do want to tell you about is the SCT event. So you guys know about the online event that SCT puts out called Crop and Create Delivered. Well, their card making event for the fall is actually in registration mode right now. They are pre-registering alums. So people who have taken it before get to register now. And then they're going to open it up to the public and allow the public to register on the 27th. So mark your calendar for April 27th if you would like to be part of that event. That was a lot of fun. And I think tons of you in here did that event. So you guys can tell each other. I'm going to go with innocent pink card base here. I think. I'm going to cut it like this. Yeah, it's a great event. There are, I think there are 16 classes. SCT is Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. And it's a great event. It's online. So you can do it over 4 days and you could do it over months, years. I mean, you could take your time and do it however you want. But the classes are taught live, which is super fun. And, you know, there's lots of chat going on. I like that. You guys like that color? Should we do that? The innocent pink? Okay, we'll do innocent pink. And registration for that will open up in 2 days to the public. So if you want it, I would definitely get it. You get, oh my gosh, you get such a huge box worth of stuff. Just a huge box of stuff. You get full card kits, stamps, stencils, dies, everything for every one of those 16 classes. And it's really fun. All right, I'm going to need some foam tape. So I've got my ThermoWeb roll. And once again, hold on a second. Once again, I want to remind you guys that if you have something like Masking Magic strips and you've got some empty spots on there, that's a great place to put this foam tape. Makes it easier to cut it into foam squares without getting your scissors all gummy. So I think I'm going to pop this whole thing up. I generally don't pop these ovals up, but I think in this case I'm going to, kind of in the mood for it. Yeah, you get a huge box of card making supplies. It is so huge. So it's a great event. I mean, really, the classes are like the bonus because you get so much stuff in the box. And it's a lot of companies that you guys know. Did I put that on straight? I think it's straight enough. Right, now, how do I want to do this? I'm going to have this over here. Just a big flower there. Maybe I'll just do that. I really feel like that's going to be enough.
All right, we've got a few questions about master layouts.
Okay.
The basics. What they are.
So master layouts are our die sets. Let me just show you one here. This is Master Layouts 1. It comes with all of these dies inside that layer together to create layouts, so you don't have to worry about cutting with a paper cutter and trying to get that tiny little black layer. They're perfectly sized, and they work for A2 cards. We have one for mini slimline. We have one for regular slimline. And we also have one for 5x7 now. So you can check them out on our website. Just type in master layouts and they all come up. You can see all of the dimensions. And in almost all of my cards, I either use Master Layouts 1 or Master Layouts 2. Master Layouts 3 is the one that coordinates with the wreath builder. And I just heard that we have a huge order of dies shipping to us next week. So hopefully within the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, all of these will be back in stock. I kind of like this. It's just really simple. I don't think I need this whole one. I'll save this for another card. And then maybe I will add a couple little gems on here. And then we'll give this card away. We always give the cards away if you're new to our lives, unless I'm all by myself and then I can't do it. Tom has to do it. He's magic back there. He's magic back there in the dead space.
Tragic magic.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to put a couple little gems on here. Look at this. I have all my Connect glue bottles. I just cleaned them all. Why do I need so many? That's a really good question. I don't need so many, but I have them because I taught this class. And so a lot of these came out of the class kits. And so now I have to see if any of them even work still. Because not everybody cleans them the way I clean them, but, you know, they do. They work. And I'm going to just take this out. I'll leave it on for now. So I'm going to put a couple little gems over here. One over here. And I'll put 2 up here. There we go. So I've got 5 little sequins that I'm going to put on here. And I think, ooh, I wonder what these pink ones would look like. These are my pearls. These pink ones might really be the ticket. Look at, that's not pink. Good Lord. This here. Look at that color. Oh, that would be beautiful. I'm going to have to use this color. So now I've got to like pull these out because I got to see, I got to find all the ones that I want in the sizes that I want. Okay. Love it. Turn these little pearls over. Pink pearls. Can I pick it up from here? Yes, I can. Oh, that's nice. Isn't that pretty? I'm just picking them off of my finger because I want real tinies. Where are the little tiny ones? Here's one. Get back here. These are our mixed rainbow pearls, and I think they are the perfect look for this. There's a couple different colors in here of pink, and actually they all look really pretty together. I think this one might be too pink, but no, maybe not. I kind of like the mix. I'll put one more on like that if I can find one. All right. So there we go. I've got a mix of different rainbow pearls on there, pink pearls. And I think that's it. That is the card for tonight. So Tom, we've got to give this one away. Look at you in the dead space.
Okay, so
It's lively back there tonight.
this is the time of night for a cheesy drum roll, please.
All right. Woohoo!
All right, and the winner of this gorgeous So Thankful for a Friend Like You card, Gina K original, is Deborah Buckley. Deborah, you're the winner.
Yay, Deborah, congratulations. Deborah won tonight's card. So Deborah, just send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and I will get this card out to you. So I just wanted to show you these backgrounds again one more time. You can see how pretty they are. I'll also take some high quality photos of all of this so that you guys can see them up close. Yeah, the word of the day, Tom. Tell them the word of the day one more time, because a lot of people came in late and they didn't get to see your word of the day.
Okay, the word of the day is psychopathic. And this shirt was a gift from our staff to me on my birthday, because they know I am psychopathic.
Do the full screen. Show them the full screen.
Psychopathic. And that is suffering from or constituting chronic bicycle disorder with abnormal or unhealthy obsessions to ride. Psychopathic.
That's the truth. They got you right. They got you pegged. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this technique, and I hope you'll give it a try. Tom and I will be back for a Thursday Crafternoon Live, and then I should be back over the weekend with another 5-minute card video, or maybe a Foil It Friday video. We'll see. But in the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and mwah! We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.